Hello, I'm still doing some sound checks, writing some stuff, and I'll be here very shortly. Give me a minute. Yeah, I'm just writing a, what is it called, a pinned message because of my microphone, just so that everyone knows. Okay, how do I pin it? There, that's it. Until manually deleted. Okay, so there should be a pinned message for everyone now stating that my sound is kind of broken. I'm working on it. Also, I love how the message is in the way of chat, so I can't read. Wait, hide from myself. It shows my own message there. Okay. Okay, so last stream was kind of short because of my microphone problems. I have ordered a new mic. It will arrive in a few days. So until then, I'll just keep going with this one. I hope it's not too bad. Yeah, but we were in the middle of making this forest seem like it's lived in, like a real area. And I have placed this little wagon here and then stopped. Also the fences, obviously. Yeah, and I want to continue with that today. But firstly, I have taken a look at this entire area that we have built so far. And while I do enjoy how it looks, it doesn't really seem like a forest. So that's what I want to fix first. There are some trees here and there, but it's not really full. Like the trees are very far apart. There are many spots of just empty room. And I think I want to fix that by adding some more greenery firstly. Some more different structures, maybe some small trees, maybe some bushes, stuff like that. Okay, so looking at these trees, I don't want to add any more of those. Like in terms of tree presets, I think we have enough. But maybe some more short ones, like really small trees. Maybe just something like this, you know? Doesn't need to look too good. Wait, let me just, if we already added. It doesn't need to look too good, doesn't mean it needs to look ugly, obviously. Yeah, some small trees like this. This is fine. Yeah, I'll just, I don't know. I could also just build every one of them by hand. They're small, it's quick, so why not? And then in terms of adding more gameplay, I was thinking when I'm adding enemies to this to this area, there will obviously be some enemy camps, some areas where the enemies live. And so that's what I'm going to do. Add some structures that are not human made. Okay. Kind of have to get back into building right now. Beginning of stream is always rough. I'll just start with this one. Could also just place some natural Minecraft trees, but no, that would be way too lazy, even for me. Yeah, maybe not make the leaves stick out too much. Also, I don't know, these, maybe it's because of the stem. That could very well be. But like this is, it looks kind of too empty. Maybe some slabs and stairs. Oh yeah, that works, I guess. Just need to find a good spot to place them. Also, there's practically no grass. I could go through here with bone meal. Let me see what kind of flowers it gives me. Or just normal Minecraft flowers. That's alright, I guess. Maybe I use this area up here as a little demo area to test stuff. Kind of seems like it's too much of the flowers, right? But why do I could just remove them quickly like this? Yeah. I mean, I obviously want some flowers in here, but not too many. And I think vanilla Minecraft spawns a few too many for my taste. Yeah, I'm not sure how the sound is right now exactly. So yeah, again, just like the pinned message says, I have bought a new microphone. It's on its way. And I hope it doesn't take too long to arrive. I am noticing a severe lack of I mean, in a pine forest, obviously there needs to be some fern. I'm just testing out how it looks in between the normal grass. And also another thing that I was thinking of, maybe break up the structure of the grass by mixing in some moss. I always love to do that because moss is already a nice block. That was stone. That's moss. I mean, it definitely sticks out, but I think in this case, this is actually nice. Maybe if I fix it by adding some moss down below where the dirt would be. Yeah, I think the problem right now is that the moss is kind of in between the grass and the dirt. But that's nothing I can't fix. Yeah, to be honest, it's not too bad. I could work with this. It also makes the entire forest feel a little bit more green, which is obviously nice. Hey there, Oli, welcome back. I'll just keep going with this mic for now, and then once my new one arrives, I switch to that. But I want to make some progress, so yeah, I hope my mic survives as long as possible. But if it gets bad, we'll just keep going. Yeah, but nice to see you again. Welcome. Okay, let me just add a little bit more. I think it needs more to better judge how it looks. I'm fine as well, apart from the obvious technical issues. Also, you might want to add an S after the gate. Wait, I read it in chat. The S, so the ES, is needed in this sentence. Yeah. Yeah, I know a lot of people kind of start streaming thinking it will be easy, or I don't know, or they can power through it. But I know a lot of people are really demotivated by the rough start that streaming usually comes with. Like having to stream to 0 viewers for endless periods of time before you actually make some progress. Yeah, my guess would be that a lot of people come into this thinking it would be quicker. And I primarily started streaming for myself as a way to make progress. So, yeah, I have to keep going for my own sake. And finding new people to talk to is just a side effect, but it's obviously also a really nice part of streaming. I always love talking to new people and just seeing how everyone is. Yeah, the moss actually looks quite nice now that it's in here. Oh yeah, I can do that. I was just not really sure how loud the sound would be right now. I also put some more filters on my microphone, so it could be I put a limiter on here just to make sure in case it gets loud. Like I usually don't get loud, but just in case I've put one on here. And that might severely turn the sound down. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not knowledgeable about a lot of these settings that you can add. I need to learn more about that stuff. Yeah, exactly. I always want to meet new people and talk to whoever I can. It's just so fun to learn about how everyone is kind of living their own life, seeing what makes people go or keep going would be a better description. Yeah. Streaming definitely opens up a lot of the world that you would usually never get to see. By the way, is the music good like this? I've turned it down a little bit. Wait, let me actually. I also don't want it to be too quiet, you know? Yeah, that is the most important phrase that you could learn. I mean, what would you do if you don't know where the toilet is? Very, very important. Yeah, but that's nice. Okay. I could try to add the fern on the moss instead of using normal grass. I mean, that's alright. As long as you're learning something new. And I mean, mistakes happen. You can't expect to learn a whole language in just a few months. It usually really takes years to fully get an understanding of the language. And mistakes are just part of that, so don't worry. This looks nice. Oh wait, I know what you mean. Is it this one? Yeah, that's a weird letter. It also, I mean, it obviously serves a purpose, but it could be easily replaced. It's not necessary for the language to work. Yeah, but German has, not even German, a lot of languages have unnecessary letters. Like C, I think, in most languages, at least that use this alphabet, is kind of useless. I mean, it on one side it sounds like a K. It could also sound like an S. Sometimes it's something entirely different. So what even is the point? Yeah, I don't know if it works for you, but getting that letter, it helps if you long press on S. It might appear. I don't know about your phone though, or your keyboard. Well, okay, obviously when you're on PC you don't have it. Can't change that. Yeah, yeah. No, the extra letters are really just different sounds of letters that already exist to make it more convenient to write. Yeah, now it seems a lot more full, this forest. I mean, this is kind of the vision that I was going for from the very beginning. But I do need some more trees. I could also just add some extra ones, right? I don't really want to place the old trees, simply because looking at them from now, nah, they don't look so good. Yeah, sure, no problem. And I think if you're on PC, you just have to have it copy and pasted somewhere. Or, or even better, get a German keyboard. Though that would be a little overkill, I think. Yeah, maybe just adding some more trees here and there could work. This doesn't look too bad, and it makes it look and feel a lot more like a forest. But I do want to place some more small ones. Let me just... I mean, this isn't exactly small, but compared to the other ones, it is. leaves kind of stick out a little too far. Oh, that was the wrong one. That's nice. That's nice, yeah. Also, the trees are further up, so I could add more stem. Yeah. Yeah, so this is just how I'll keep going for this forest. Make sure everything kind of fits together. And then gameplay is something that comes naturally with that. Yeah. That's also a really nice feature on, I think most phones today have it that you can just switch your keyboard language really easily. On my phone, it works by dragging the spacebar to the right or left, depending on in what direction you want to switch. It's really useful. I mean, at least if you want to learn more languages or stuff. For most people, it's probably they're never going to use it. But if you need a different letter, especially like the Greek ones, because they're really popular, then that's a very easy way to switch. Both. I like both. Tea and coffee is good. Though I think I enjoy tea a little bit more. Yeah, tea, I think tea in terms of, well, I mean, flavor is really good on both, so that might be a bad. Yeah, it might just be a bad. Sorry, I kind of ran out of words to use. Yeah, I was kind of wondering for a while, but I understand or I understood what you meant by that. By the way, it seems like you're learning multiple languages at once. That seems like a really hard task to accomplish, but could be fun. What are you learning currently apart from German, if I'm right with my assumption? I mean, obviously Swedish if you've already used the word. Okay. Yeah, I'm just going through the forest manually, fixing some of the moss. Not much to talk about while doing that. I'm kind of screwed when it comes to making videos right now, because as I said, I want to make videos for my main channel, and I also said that it's taking a lot of time. And I'm slowly but surely running out of storage on my drive because of all the streams that I keep recording. But I never use them. It's just a matter of time until my hard drive is completely full. Yeah, I have 3 drives, two SSDs, one M.2, one what is the other one called that you plug into this cable stuff? I don't know what it's called, but I have two. One for Windows, one for personal stuff, and one HDD for videos right now. I save all of my videos on I think it's 1 terabyte HDD. Okay, I need to watch out not to misclick the mouse. Yeah, I actually have a funny story when it comes to or not a funny story, but a story when it comes to storage. Because I've been in war with one of my SSDs that is no longer in my PC. But I had this SSD that would constantly crash and delete itself and make me lose a lot of work. And at first I didn't know what exactly caused it. But then at one point I lost like years of work. And yeah, ever since it's no longer in my PC. I still don't know what actually caused it to malfunction. I think it was something to do with the cable, that might not have been properly in. Also, it doesn't help that my SSDs don't really have a proper spot to be in my PC. So they're just kind of hanging wherever is placed. Not even attached to anything, just the cable and I think the one that broke was right below my graphics card. Like directly below the fans. And that might not have been too great for it. Okay, Swedish. Yeah. Yeah, but that sounds fun. Just learning a language just for fun, than talking to some friends. Yeah, that would be really entertaining. Yeah, so I also had it for a long time. So that's probably not why it broke its age. Oh wait, this song is significantly louder, I think, than the rest. Okay, this should work. Sorry if it's still too loud, I don't know. Yeah, but at one point it gave up. It lost me a lot of progress. I thought formatting it would work, then maybe switching the slot that it's plugged into. And at first it did work for a while. And right as I thought that everything would be fine and that I could just keep going, it broke down again, deleting all my progress again. At that point, luckily, I was thinking about making backups, so I didn't lose everything. But yeah, I mean, it's also on me. I should have noticed sooner that the SSD was not working properly. And right now it's sitting right next to me on my desk, watching over all the other drives menacingly. It knows what it has done. Yeah, and since that those events, I've always kept multiple backups. Even I have one on my USB stick, one on my HDD, one on my current SSD, my M.2 SSD. So I basically have 3 backups of everything at all times. And even if everything goes to shit, I still have my USB cable. Stick, not cable, bro. Yeah. That has really, like, losing years of progress. Also on some Minecraft worlds that I've been working on. That has really fucked me up. Like, sorry for the language, but that's just the most appropriate word to use in this moment. Yeah, but it gave me a chance to think about how I want to continue my projects, and it actually has helped with finding a better direction to go in. Oh well, it's no problem. Happens. You've already told me about your internet problems, so yeah, if there's anything specific that you've missed, you feel free to ask. Also, let me remove the flowers now. They're kind of annoying. But I could just make this bigger, more efficient. Yeah. Oops. I think, like internet, it's really important for your PC to have a connection via cable. Not sure what the right word is right now, but I am sure you know what I mean. Like you have this cable coming out of your internet router, and usually you should also have one that can be plugged into your mainboard on your PC. And that usually helps with a better connection. I would usually not use Wi-Fi for your PC. In most cases, at least, of course. Sometimes, if you have especially good Wi-Fi, you could go and use it. But usually you would want to use a cable. Also, I was thinking about the food supply of this village. As I said last stream, I might want to add some wheat fields. And I have come to the conclusion that I don't want to do that for the simple reason I have come up with an idea. Sorry, I'm kind of struggling with the words right now. So this isn't the only village in this world. Obviously, there's a capital city that is not too far away. It's you might have seen it sometimes in the background. Not finished, but yeah. And I was thinking maybe the food for this village gets imported from the capital city, so they don't need a proper food supply in terms of own fields. That would also fit into the law, because at this point the village is abandoned and the capital city has stopped importing food because of more law reasons that I'm not going to spoil. But stuff has happened that has stopped most production. Yeah, and that was kind of the idea I had. Maybe say the village wasn't self-sustaining, but was living off of other people's work. Yeah, I couldn't imagine playing a competitive multiplayer game with a cable connection on my PC. That is a recipe for disaster. Yeah, so how I want to convey this information to the player is I've already showed that I have a lore chest here with some messages. Don't read them, by the way, if anyone watching later. It is spoilers. I might not should have shown all of them right now. Just don't look at it too much. Unless you don't want to play the map, then it's okay, I guess. Yeah, so I want to convey this information by writing some more of those messages that the player can find. All the lore in this map is completely optional, apart from the beginning and the ending cutscenes. So yeah, I know full well that a lot of people who play CTM maps don't really care about the lore, because that's just not what you play those maps for. So for those people, I want to make sure that they can skip through it if they don't want to experience what I have written. Though it is sad, but you have to accept not everyone will be interested in a story. And that's just okay. Damn, it looks a lot fuller now. Adding moss and little trees has really helped. But obviously I'm still not done with the trees. Yeah, I mean, cutscenes, you need to keep in mind, this is still Minecraft, so it obviously won't be like an incredible cinematic experience. Maybe some still images, maybe some little motions in the background. But yeah, I'm also not sure if I want to add the voice acting. I was thinking maybe I create this commentary that the player could be could enable, where I maybe read some of the lore pages or stuff. I don't know. But like mostly it will just be chat messages and some still images. Yeah, in that case you would probably have a lot of fun with this map, because I like to fill my worlds with lore. Obviously at this point it's still really early and I am not going to reveal most of it, because I want to let you experience it on your own. Or literally just everyone who is watching now or later. So yeah, no story spoilers from me, but there will be a lot of background information that the player could read about. That is really important to myself. You see, the reason I'm building this map in the first place, on one side, obviously because I like CTM maps, because I want to contribute to the community. But on the other side, it's really because telling stories is what I want to do. And that is really the most important part. Being able to tell a story, maybe something emotional, maybe something that people have not seen this way before. Yeah, I'm not sure about that one, but I keep it in mind. Thanks. But this is mostly playing in a fantasy world with no real villains in this case. It's more of like a gray zone kind of story with a lot of characters that all have their own motivations, but none of them are really evil, if you could say that. It's not just a simple hero saves the world story. Yeah, I always like to have deeply written villains that actually have some reason to them that you could empathize with. Maybe even some characters that may be called a villain, but are really just good guys with other methods. different people have different solutions to all kinds of problems, so yeah. I think what makes the story really memorable for me is if I'm not sure who is actually the good person and the bad guy. Like, it's really easy to, when you write, to fall into this hole of just writing a person who's full evil and one who's full good and they fight each other. But what if both are good but still don't get along? What if both have their own motivations and goals that are not just, oh, I want to be all powerful or whatever? Yeah, I gotta be honest, I I don't watch many movies. In fact, I mostly don't watch movies at all. Not because I don't like them, but because usually I'm really critical with the kind of stories that I like to experience. And Hollywood is, in most cases, for me, the stories aren't, to say it nicely, deep enough for me personally. There was a time where I've watched some stuff, and what it usually came down to is that I felt like there was a lot of lazy writing, plot holes, inconsistent characters. I can't really name anything right now because I used to watch a lot of movies with my dad, but I never really paid attention to the title or the actors or director or whatever. But yeah, I do remember that I was not convinced by most of them. Yeah, yeah. I actually have the full story of this map planned out from start to finish. And it might not be my best story, but I'm still convinced that it's really good for what I can do with a normal Minecraft adventure map. Obviously, when you have gameplay inside your story and mostly convey that story with text messages, you can't really tell most of the really complicated stuff. Or you can, but it will be significantly harder to make everyone understand what is going on. So I kind of had to adjust for that in this map. But it's still a deep one in terms of the characters, I think. I mean, the quick hook for the story that is also in the trailer when I make one is that one day the sun went down and never came up again, and it seems to have something to do with this monument. And that's like really the most essential part that is told to the players in the trailer or even in the prologue of the map. And obviously there's a lot more beneath the surface. Like, what even is the monument? Why why does it exist? Who created it? Why does it seemingly control the movement of the Earth? I mean, I could check it out, but not right now. I would, if I did that, I would do it after stream. But sure, you could send it up to me on Discord if you want. Yes, I always have a hard time keeping myself from spoiling the entire story. So I would rather stick with staying silent in terms of this right now, because I can already see myself taking all of it away. I'm actually not sure about about the name right now. I have some ideas that I'm going to share once I'm far enough. Maybe with the trailer once one releases. Also, I know I'm really slow with the grass placement right now. Yeah, but that's Axiom removed the foliage feature, which is really annoying. I don't know why they removed it. It would have made this entire process a lot quicker. But now it's gone and I kind of have to deal with that by manually placing stuff. Maybe it's still there and I'm just blind. That also tends to happen sometimes. I mean, sometimes spoilers can help get someone into the story, of course. Yeah, but it always depends on what you're doing and how you want to market that story. I could spoil it, and it probably wouldn't really impact much right now. But yeah, I keep it at this little snippet. And you'll see more when the trailer releases. Or even when the map finally arrives. Also, all the lore bits that you've seen, I'm doing those off stream. So no lore streams. Maybe I build part of the cutscenes on stream, simply because that's a little bit more work. And as we've already established, I'm really bad at starting to work when I'm not in my routine. So yeah, bigger stuff, like cutscenes and stuff, I might do on stream. I'm not sure though. Depends on how motivated I am. It's also going to be the last things that I add. So maybe when I'm already able to see the finish line, I might be more motivated to do stuff on my own. And I already have an idea for future maps. Yeah, the next one I'm going to build is going to play in a desert, so it's going to be a full desert map. And I already have some great ideas for that. It's going to be more in the direction of a traditional adventure map with some CTM aspects inside. I do think that the CTM approach to Minecraft maps is probably the best one I've seen so far in an adventure map genre. Like giving the player the full freedom of Minecraft, let them do whatever they want, while having a story to play through or dungeons to explore. But I also like to have some more linear paths that the player might need to follow. So the plan for that map, well, give me some. I'll talk about it in a second. Yeah, maybe I'm also just going a little bit slow intentionally right now, because I know that I don't have much planned after this forest. Like obviously there's a lot more stuff to do, but in terms of plans for this specific stream, I only really had plans for the forest today. So I might want to time it so that I'm finished with the forest near the end of the stream. So I could maybe lay out a little more. Or I don't know. Yeah, I know. I'm making it hard for myself sometimes with weird stream plans, or I don't even know. But yeah, I'm still working on that. But it'll take some time. Also, let me use this time real quick to check if the sound is alright right now. Yeah. Yep, seems alright. I don't mean my microphone sound. That's probably bad anyways, but I'm talking about the music sound, just to make sure it's not too loud, not too quiet. It's kind of hard to do that if you only have one monitor. I mean, it's probably fine if you've stored it in a freezer or something. Also, it's only... No, I mean, could ice cream go bad? I mean, obviously there's a lot of milk in there. So I actually don't know so much right now. But that's nice. What flavor did you get for yourself? I didn't have ice cream in a long time, now that I'm thinking about it. But yeah, I was talking about the next map that I'm going to build. A full desert map with some more traditional adventure map design. Obviously still CTM. But I had this plan of having a big open world that the player can traverse through. And that is where they will usually find new dungeons and blocks for the monument. But at the same time, there will be some cities that the players can visit with NPCs that give quests. And in those cities, the player will be on adventure mode, so they can't break or place blocks for a more traditional linear progression. And in those cities, the player will usually follow on one side the main story that will unlock new areas of the cities, and also find compasses that have the information of where the next dungeon is going to be. The map is going to be a lot bigger, obviously, because it's a big desert, and most of it is also going to be empty, so that the player doesn't really know where to look for new dungeons. The idea is that the player needs to really needs to talk to the NPCs to find out where the next dungeon might be. And then in those dungeons, the player might find items that could help traverse the city more. Yeah. One-year-old ice cream. To be honest, I would Google if it's still alright. 1 year seems a little long, especially because of the milk in there. Or you could just find out the hard way. I mean, food poisoning. What even is food poisoning? Little tummy ache. Nah, don't eat stuff that's already bad. Yeah, but I was actually for a lot of times I was already thinking about starting the new map, but I had to really physically stop myself from starting building on that one, because I really want to finish one thing first before starting the next. I might have already said that someday, but I really struggle with actually finishing the stuff that I want to do. I start a lot of things and then never finish them. Yeah, but that's totally on me and I'm working on that. I'm aware that that's the problem. Also, do I build more rocks like this? Looking at it from this perspective, it doesn't actually look too bad. Like from a gameplay perspective, it might actually work. Do I just place some and look or see how it turns out? I could also wait. This is a big open area. But let me try rock tool. Oh wait, H is the shortcut. What? Actually, that's good to know. Though I don't really pay much attention to a lot of shortcuts. Oh, wait, I still have the filter. That is too big, isn't it? Yeah, that's way too big. Noisiness 80 maybe, I don't know. Melt strength, I don't even know what these settings do. I just assume and hope for the best. Smoothing 20. Ah, that's actually better. Yeah, I think it would have been more effective if I just placed that by hand. But now I'm already here, let me at least try. I mean, some rocks like this, maybe even if I make it bigger. I'm just going with hand right now. No time to waste with figuring out options in Axiom. Yeah, maybe this could work. This could actually work. Let me use a quick filter to replace the dirt. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really need much more texture. I could not be andesite. I could add some andesite because it's already looking really stone-like looking. Yep, that's nice. I'll add some more of those. Could be interesting for gameplay. And also help break up the empty parts a little better. And now I need to find a way to evenly distribute them among all the areas. Or would it be nice if I just toss one right in the middle of the path? Could be annoying, but could also be interesting for gameplay. It's always like one method to kind of obstruct the path that the player would normally take, force them to find a new path. In this case, obviously traverse around, but on the other side there could always be something that the player doesn't see on the first look. So yeah, if I place a spawner maybe right here, and the player comes from here, there might be a zombie like right around the corner, stopping the player. So the player would need to maybe move up here or just around or just fight the zombie, obviously. Yeah, that's a nice placement. I was thinking I just replaced all the dirt with grass blocks, but I had masked surface on, so the bottom blocks shouldn't be affected. I was just thinking, what if everything is grass right now? Though that wouldn't make any sense anyways, because they would just lose the grass underground. Yeah, I don't know what I'm saying. Right at the entrance, over to this side. I don't want to put every single rock in the player's way. That would obviously be... I mean, I think players would start to notice. Okay. Yeah, it definitely helps with color on one side. And it could bring some interesting gameplay into. Also, yeah, I'm just adding one more up here. This top part could be very, very interesting to work with when it comes to hiding play stuff. Obviously, a lot of players who like to explore would be naturally drawn to the higher up places. And it's also always really satisfying when you climb up a hill and then there's just a chest or something. Yeah, I get that. Those school events, especially if they're optional, I also most of the time skipped. It's already, if I'm already spending 6 hours a day in school, I don't want to spend even more time with some optional event that I'm not even interested in. But I guess it could also be fun, like meeting some friends outside of the normal school day. Or I don't know. But yeah, most of the time I also skip those. It always made me so mad when there was like a one that you had to come to. And then it would be in the middle of the day, like you would come back from school. It's 2 p.m., almost 3. And then you had maybe 1 hour and then you had to go to school again. That would... My day was ruined every time something like this was announced. And I'm the kind of person who's never sick, so it would be very obvious if I would be sick at that day. Yeah, so I didn't really have an excuse not to go. Wait, you have to pay... Okay, wait, there's a first event in your school and you have to pay money to go. Isn't there like some regulation that you could ask for financial support? In Germany, at least, for stuff like that, the school usually needs to provide a way to make people who are already don't have a lot of money to pay that for them. So that was a really weird sentence structure, but I'm sure you know what I mean. Oh wait, so it's not even from school. Okay, in that case it's different. Yeah, obviously if events like this fall into school time, that's nice. But outside of that, it always depends on what the event is. Sometimes it's actually something fun. Yeah, that's always fun. Especially near the end of school time, you would usually have a lot of um, little trips, where you kind of would visit places or do stuff for charity. I don't know. We had. Oh wait, I can't say that. That would dox myself. But yeah, sometimes there are fun events that fall into school time. But usually it's not worth it in most cases. For me at least. Okay. Yeah, that could be fun. Also, this might be, I don't know what other people think about this, but like school trips to museums and stuff, that was always really fun. Because there'd always be this one group who was just not interested and would not really be productive all the time. And yeah, it was always chaos. Bringing a school class to a museum, it was always comedy gold. Yeah, we also had some of those. It's I'm not much into religion myself, though I would like to be convinced. I'm really open on this topic. I don't currently believe in any god or something like this, but if someone were to offer some solid proof, then I would be fine with converting, if that is a good word to use in this situation. But yeah, those events where you would learn maybe about some religions, maybe visit their monuments or whatever, those were always really fun. Because it would really be a view into a completely different culture. And that's already something really fascinating most of the times. That could go horribly wrong. Going somewhere with the class without a teacher, that's dangerous. If I think back about to my school time. Yeah, we had some really problematic people in other classes. I mean, obviously everyone has, but it's always easy to underestimate of how people would actually go when they're with friends. We had some really disrespectful people also, which is always like, okay, I get it, you're not interested in the topic, but at least let other people have fun. And teachers are usually there to regulate that and make sure that everyone is able to enjoy the event. So yeah, going somewhere without one seems like an interesting decision. Yeah, that's always great. Like as I said, I'm also really open to this topic, and I've just removed all the grass. Sorry. Yeah. But yeah, until today, or until or like then, speaking is hard. Uh, but until this point, no one has ever was ever able to convince me. So yeah, I'm not sure if it will ever happen, but of course I'm open. Also, so there was a teacher there, but you were just further ahead or something like that? Too far away from them? Yeah, but I mean, okay, in this case, if a teacher is at least present somewhere near you, then that's more okay. Okay. Yeah, just having a guardian, someone who's in a position to deal with school kids, that's important. What do you mean Microsoft was blocked? Like you can't use your PC anymore? What does that mean? That would be really bad. Wait, really blocking Microsoft? How would that even work? I mean, most PCs use Windows right now, even though a lot of people switch over to Linux. But blocking Microsoft wouldn't that severely damage the entire industry somehow? It sounds fake. I couldn't imagine Microsoft being blocked. And if it does happen, that's really bad. Yeah, let's hope it was fake. This little hill really looks like there could be something hiding on top. Yeah, I keep this place in mind. To place something later. I'm forgetting about small trees again. Yeah. I also I still can't really believe why they would stop support for Windows 10. It makes no sense to me. Making Windows 11 is one thing, that's alright. But stopping support for 10? I mean, don't they notice that people are not going to make up with that? Don't they notice how many people are switching over to Linux right now? Especially with Valve going so far as making sure that most, if not all, Steam games work on a Linux computer. Yeah, I mean, they were probably thinking about making some quick money, but looking at it in the long run, it really doesn't make any sense to me. And at this point, I'm also confident in saying that there was probably someone stupid in charge of that. Because looking at other big companies, or, I mean, Microsoft is also like a top contender for the most stupid company I've ever seen. It's really hard to say that the people who are working there really know what they're doing at this point. You would usually guess those big companies would hire people who actually have experience. But yeah, I'm kind of starting to doubt that with every day that passes. Yeah, I've heard that a lot of Riot games seem to have a lot of problems on Windows 11. I also remember when Windows 11 originally came out, I think those games wouldn't work at all. Yeah, and I mean, I don't know. I don't personally like the new UI. It looks not great for me, and also it's just so full of useless clutter. So much software that no one is ever going to use. And what for? What is it actually for? Who was sitting there at Microsoft talking about this idea and pitching it as something good? An even better question, what idiot approved of that? This tree looks bad. Let me try again. Still not great, but better. I need to pay more attention to my pronunciation so I can actually improve. It's alright. Nobody is going to notice. I'll just place the creeper spawner here and hope that the creeper blows the entire tree up. Yeah, really questionable decisions are being made there over at Microsoft. Wait, do I have replace blocks turned off? Seems like it. Okay, just to make sure that the tree doesn't grow into the cliff. Oh, damn. Yeah, that's... yeah, that's on the teacher at that point. It was to be expected. If you ask if they want to come, obviously no one is going to answer. Yeah, like no offense to the teacher, but events like this, you kind of have to make it seem like it's forced. So obviously that's not nice to do, but if you're going to tell the children from the very start that it's optional and that they could just opt out of it, in most of the cases it's going to be absolute silence. But well, I guess there will always be at least someone who is willing to come. So yeah, probably just silence for now. I'm not convinced by those trees, to be honest. The idea's there, but I think they need some more work. Yeah, the more of those I build, the more I start to realize that they're not really the best. Maybe it also has to do with the fact that the leaves are too far up. I'll just keep it there for now, but I will probably rework it later. Okay, another rock placed. Yeah, I'm starting to like this. Or what do you think? At least now it really looks like a forest with all the greenery. And obviously I could still add some normal bushes. But I want to make sure that the gameplay isn't too cluttered. Having gravel and rocks and small trees is already a lot. I just have to look how it turns out. That sounds like a solution. Yeah, streaming takes a lot of internet. Watching and streaming. So you could also just turn your settings down. If you haven't done that already. 720p still looks nice. Yeah, you kind of have to trust the process a lot of times with building. It's really easy to place something, look at it and say, oh, that doesn't fit, and then just remove it again. But one thing that I've learned in my time with building in Minecraft is that a lot of times it takes time before you can actually properly judge a building. It's just you really have to trust the process, go with it, and maybe if you're a little further in, and then still say, okay, it isn't working, then you can still remove it. But yeah. Oh, that's a weird decision. But yeah, okay. I guess Twitch is already having problems with money. Though I'm not quite sure how the video encoder works. But if the option is not there, I would guess that it has something to do with that. That they just don't want to offer more options. I mean, that's the next goal. Like, I think 50 followers is needed and 5 active chatters. But yeah, it's going to take some time, but it's yeah, I wish I could make it possible to change the resolution. But that's kind of on Twitch at this point. Okay, I'm not sure how far I want to keep the moss going. It could go through the entire forest, or yeah, 3 active chatters might be correct. I'm not sure though. I'll check it later. Not important right now anyway, since we're far from 50 followers. I could try to break up the scenery with the other part of the forest. Or I just keep going with moss. Yeah, I've actually already hit the needed amount of streams in a month. 3 hours per stream, 3 streams a week. That's roughly like 12 streams a month. Times 3 is 36 hours a month, which is already the achievement. I think the achievement was 30 hours in 1 month and 7 streams on different days in a month. If I remember correctly, I might also just be talking shit right now. Yeah, I mean, this area could, I think, a little breakup of scenery might be better over here. This part of the forest is more green, more saturated, and the other one might go a little bit more in the grayish direction. Also because the next area is going to be really gray. Also, I kind of started building this and then stopped like 2 hours in. Oh wait, right, I heard they want to change the requirement. I think 50 followers was for partner, right? Yeah, I've heard they want to make it so that you can become affiliated earlier so that they can play ads on your stream. But you won't actually get real money from those ads, only money that you could use directly on Twitch. I'm not sure about this direction. Obviously, they need to make more money, so that's a very reasonable approach, making ads appear sooner for streamers. But I'm not sure about the idea of having smaller streamers play ads, for the simple reason that a small streamer doesn't have the amount of viewers needed to be able to support ads. A lot of people will come into a stream, see an ad, and just leave again. And especially, I personally, if I were to tune into a small streamer and I would be greeted with an ad, I would watch that streamer. So I hope they make it optional. If I unlock ads before being able to support that, I would personally turn it off. Because I don't want people watching ads for no real reason. If I'm not even getting any money from it, then why? Yeah. Also, most streamers need to know, turn pre-rolls off, please. It's like the most disruptive thing you can have on your stream. No matter how big the streamer is, if I open the stream and immediately have to watch an ad, I'm just leaving again. Yeah, but I would personally only turn on ads if it actually helps me in some way. Of course, being able to earn money and support streaming for longer times, maybe growing into like a real, or growing it to something bigger, you know, that would obviously be the point where you would kind of need ads to be able to support continuing to stream. And it would also, I would personally, all the money that I would make from Twitch would go directly back into my projects, which is also kind of part of the reason why I started streaming. On one side, to meet new people, obviously, and on the other side, to maybe someday be able to fund my own projects that are currently too big for one single person to ever achieve. But yeah, I don't really like the idea of like using ads in a way just to make money, or just seeing streaming as a job, especially as a small streamer. Obviously, if it is a job for you, then you kind of have to see it as that. But smaller streamers really should see it more as a hobby. helps with the mentality, helps maybe keeping a good spirit up. But obviously it always depends on the person. Yeah, and I also really enjoyed the way that Twitch has integrated the, not really how they integrated it, but the discovery aspect of Twitch has really grown a lot, I think. I don't like the TikTok kind of layout for mobile, but it really does help find new people. Also on YouTube, I noticed that YouTube has been recommending very small channels a lot more to me. I got a lot of small channels on my homepage. Also some really incredible people who really put in the work, which I really enjoy. It's nice to see YouTube kind of reward the people who want to keep going. Do I keep going with the moss or do I stop here? Okay, I'm definitely going to do this. Do I? I'm kind of not sure right now. Yeah, also finding through categories obviously is also nice. Do we have any other blocks that could work as texture? Yeah, like if I want a TikTok like stream, I would stream on TikTok, but I don't want that, so I'm on Twitch. Should be obvious, but it seems like a lot of companies today want to kind of profit off of the success that TikTok is already having and just copy and paste whatever TikTok is doing. Seagrass. Oh, it automatically places water. Well, that's sad. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I could also go for a more flowery look, like how it already is. But I do think I need more texture. I don't want to use terracotta. That's interesting. Atomic Heart is one of the games that I want to play. I haven't played it right now, but it's on my list. It seems really fun. Also, if you haven't noticed, they've just announced the second or the sequel on the, was it the Summer Games Fest or was it a State of Play? I don't remember. There have been so many game showcases recently. Green concrete powder. I mean, it could help break up the structure. Oops, that was the wrong button. Or do we just keep going with moss? Let me try one half with moss and one with concrete powder. What do you do we think? Does this work? Concrete powder? Maybe real concrete? No, not real concrete. That's bad. There are not enough green blocks in Minecraft. At least when it comes to full blocks. Obviously, leaves don't count. Right now I'm looking at this and I'm seeing moss and grass. The rest is maybe blue, more grayish, and a lot of leaves. And in terms of full blocks, that's it. Obviously melons and slime blocks, but I wouldn't really count that. Let me use the color picker. Oh damn, I was wrong. There are enough green blocks. Okay, yeah, that's my bad, sorry. Kind of brain AFK at that moment. Though still, the most of these are not really natural blocks. You could argue that. Anything that works. Where would grass be? Oh, yeah, right, it's more, what is it? Brownish? Yeah, it's hard to judge from just one trailer, obviously. And as someone who hasn't played the first game yet, I was really interested about the second one. But yeah, I don't know at this point. I have to see how other people think about the game. Damn, this is hard. I just need one block. Or do we really just keep going with moss? I mean, it doesn't look... Oh wait, that's concrete powder. I don't really want to switch over to pale moss, because I've already used that over here. Though wait, maybe with some bigger patches. Searching for the P on my keyboard. Okay, to be honest, it does work. It does work. And it fades really well into the next area. Oh well, don't worry. I understand. Yeah, I was just thinking about what block to use in the other half of the forest. What direction is this? North. Yeah, in the north part of the forest. And I just made a screenshot. Congrats. I should maybe make a compilation of all my misclick screenshots that I've ever made in Minecraft. That would be funny. I think I've seen something like this in the past. Usually not something interesting, but some of them could be really goofy. Okay, I think the core idea is good, but the pattern is too big. Like there's a little bit too much. Let me... Okay, changing the scale doesn't really change much. Maybe going for 25% instead. And also, this first platform here is going to be moss. I've just decided that. And the second one will be... Wait, did I not remove? Okay, like this. Make it bigger. and then just go through it. Yeah, this works a lot better, I think. It blends nicely into the next area. Yeah, I'm doing that. And in terms of vegetation, do I just keep go? Oh wait, corals. They could look nice. Yeah, that's also like kind of the way that the game advertises itself, so it makes sense. Yeah, I do get what you mean. It's a core aspect of the game. I've noticed that from the trailers. Yeah, I don't know when I'm going to get around to playing it. I'm really interested, just need to... Oh no. Oh no. Somewhere in this map, there's now a stair instead of a block. And I don't know where. Well, let's see who finds it first. Probably nobody. Where was I? Yeah, Atomic Heart, when I'm playing it. I gotta look. I'm interested in playing. It's been on my list since the very first trailer. Not sure how good the PC port is though. I have a PlayStation, but I usually like to play on my PC better. Okay, wait. That coral was on my mind for decoration. If I just take these three, could work. And if I now put them into 10% of each. That would mean 70% air. That was obviously not right. I usually like to play games in the original, with the original voices, in terms of language, I mean. Simply because usually it's a more authentic experience, from what I have learned. So I'm probably not going to be able to tell you how the English voice acting is. I don't think English is the original language, right? I'm not sure though. Something is not working. But there's always something not working. Do I need above instead of below? Nope. That was very wrong. Oh no, I know what the problem is. I need to filter for above pale moss and block air, so it affects. What have I just pressed? Oh damn, I've pressed Windows instead of Control. And I forgot to change the pattern to white. That's too much. Let's 12% seems right. But no. That would be 64 if I'm not stupid. No, that's correct. Yeah, then I'm probably going to play that in Russian. Yeah, I don't know, like playing games in the original language or even watching TV shows or movies in the original language is usually what I enjoy most. It also most of the times it has the best quality voice acting, simply because it's the original and the people working on it were probably handpicked by the developers. Or I don't know how it actually works, but I would guess that a lot more effort gets put into making sure that the voice actors fit the characters. It's a guess though, so I might be talking nonsense again. Cobblestone really kind of works together with the Pelmos. What have you sent me? What? What is that fourth thing? Oh, I guess it makes sense looking back at it, but that's interesting to advertise with that information. Uh, yeah. Well, I guess I know I guess they know their audience. Damn. Is that really official? From their website. Damn. That's some amazing marketing. Yeah, exactly. Nintendo would have just taken everything down, filed some lawsuits, and called it a day. Yeah. Very, very, very interesting marketing. Yeah, that's and people look at gacha games and say Gunner game. I mean, yeah, I can't show it on stream, but if you're interested, just go, I think, to the official Atomic Heart website, and there should be some very interesting news. That's very funny. Damn. They are really taking this serious, oh my god. I don't think I've ever seen any company advertise their game with that. Yep, 10 out of 10 out of 10 deaths. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised I've never heard of this news. Might have just missed it. But I would imagine it'd be a lot more. Oh wait, was it? Have I heard someone talk about it? I actually don't remember. I'm just replacing the moss right now with pale moss, just to make it fit more into the area. Well, where there's some... it's not. It's only hanging moss. Okay. Yeah. That's amazing, really. Okay, so the pale moss has obviously worked well with breaking up some of the colors in here. I'm not sure in terms of grass placement. I might place some more grass. Just, yeah, I'm placing more grass, but only a little bit. For the simple reason that this area feels like it should be more open in terms of vibe, you know. Okay, so now let's go with... Wait, that might actually already be too much. 20%? Short grass. Oh, that's a good amount, to be honest. Oop, I forgot that that hotkey exists. Just dragging the camera. I should use that more. Yeah, now the forest really feels like it's divided into two areas. You know, the northern part, which is more, what is it called? More cold, more open, more empty. And the southern part, I think south, yeah, south is right, which is more warm, more lush. And then the entrance, which is a little flowery. Is that a word? Yeah, but here I'm going to place some more grass just to make sure that it's kind of more visually distinct. Yeah, then I think the rest will be handled by gameplay and spawner placements and enemy camps. Of course, I'm going to add spawners and proper gameplay once I'm done with everything else. Yeah, let's just ignore the trees for now. I'm not really in the mood to place more trees, including the small ones. Okay, so what do we have now? Wait, are we done? Seems like it. Damn. Okay, you know what? I'm going to take the time and deal with whatever this is. An obviously unfinished area. And we're going to try our best to finish it now. Just gotta look at how I did it in the past. Okay, so obviously some red sand near the edges. Some spikes made out of sandstone, terracotta, and walls. Yeah, and then just a lot of empty desert. I mean, what else is there to add? It's a desert. Not much to place here. Okay, let me remove the filter. Smooth this out a little bit. Because obviously if it's a desert, it's going to be a lot more flat. Maybe some dunes, but oh, that was the wrong one. Okay, I want this edge to be a little sharper, maybe. So I need mate. That's the one. Still kind of too round. Maybe if I lower the strength. No, it's everything is so round. Why can't I just make sharp edges? I think the modeling tab didn't really vibe with me. I never really enjoyed how it felt to use. I might just have to go with melt and then sharpen it up by hand a little bit. But yeah, right now the edges are to go too far up, if you know what I mean. Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. I guess it would be hard to make a full game in such conditions. Okay, now I need elevation, and fall off I'm going to make a flat. Okay, that was... Oh, it messes with the trees. Let me decrease the Y limit. So it only really goes for... Yeah, that's a tool to sharpen everything up. Okay, I need to make the Y limit higher. Simply so it doesn't make weird ripples in the rock. Maybe here. This a little higher. Yeah, this can be fixed by hand. Just ignore that it's all cobblestone. Nobody is going to notice anyways. Oh well, it is noticeable here. Oops. Forgot to turn replace mode on. And no one will ever know. Unless they watch the stream. In which case, hi, I guess. Oh, and this side, yeah. Oh, this is going to be a little bit harder with flattening it up. Just go with melt the entire way, I think. And then smooth. Yeah, and that's sharp enough. And here is a little secret cave that can be a little bit more rounded up. And this area right here only needs more sand around the edges. Yeah, exactly. Bad timing to make a game. Bad location to make a game. Had to move for obvious reasons. But I mean, in the end, I think they delivered a good game that was received really positively. At least I've not really heard anything bad about the game so far. Might also be because I tried to stay away from spoilers as much as possible, so I didn't really engage much with the community. Why am I painting this by hand? We could make this area a little bit more interesting by saying that yeah, it could be a little bit more dangerous. The way down could maybe be a bigger drop. Right now it's really easy to get up and down, but if I just remove some of the edges, like obviously that's not the final version, but I'm making it harder to get back up, and then way more dangerous to be down here. Could be an interesting concept. Yeah, I'm going to fix this one later. Just need to be careful. I've turned mask surface mode off, off. And so that means that it's also painting the blocks underneath, as you can see. We're seeing this, right? What is going on? Let's just ignore that. Okay. Not sure what just happened. Classic Minecraft moment. Yeah, it's really wild that they were actually able to pull a game like this off in such a bad setting at such a bad time. Like really lots of respect to the developers for this one. You know what? Let's go even higher up. Like this. So the player really has to drop down or build their way down. I could add some sand castles, like, you know, some little structures that mobs may be hiding in. I mean, this place doesn't need to be just a copy and paste of the other sand area. No, yeah, okay, I need to do some terraforming at least. No, that works, I guess. Okay, so now the player has to drop down. Obviously, this is supposed to be a dangerous area, so there should be something waiting for the player right below. And what I was thinking, are we funny? Do we just build a small sand castle right in front here? No, I think this is kind of out of place, but something in this direction, some more structure, definitely. No, yes, that's always the problem with any esports, to be honest, when there is one clear favorite among the viewers, or someone who's just simply more skilled. But I mean, you can't really avoid any of that. So that's just part of some esports matches. Let me see some sandstone. I could try to ignore the law for once and just build a sand structure. Maybe some small buildings. I mean, it's alright, right? Like, gameplay is still the main focus. So who cares if there's one or two buildings that don't quite fit in? Wait, I have an idea. Ooh, this could be fun. What if I use red sandstone as an outline? Like this. Inside is normal sandstone. And then we have... oh, this isn't big enough. No problem. And then we have a second structure on top of this one. Like this. Why do they... Yeah, okay, I mean, they can't just stop the entire esports just because of one player. I guess it makes sense, but that's still... They were at an obvious disadvantage at this point, I would say. Which is really unfair in a way. Though I do understand why they did it. You really can't pause an entire tournament just because of one player. Yeah, though there should be some regulations for that, like making sure that the tournament doesn't start before everyone is there, or better make sure that everyone is there before the tournament starts. Like get them in maybe some days early. Give them time to warm up, get used to the new setting. Also just note, I don't really keep up with esports, so I don't know how it actually works. But this sounds to me like they were having some time issues in terms of making sure that the tournament doesn't start before everyone is there. Yeah, that's also, I mean, it makes sense if one of your better players isn't there. And if it's esports, there might be teams who are worse, but it's still only top players. And you can't expect to win if you don't have your full team. I mean, you can try, but it's definitely going to be significantly harder. There will always be players like this who just carry everything. I mean, competitive esports is really inviting to this exact kind of player. Obviously, if you're trying to compete at the very top, there will always be at least one no life who's really giving it all. That's fine. Like, it's okay to have one hard carry. Or maybe even more. That's the entire point of esports, I think. Though I may not be the one to talk because I don't really keep up with it anyways. I'm just an outsider in this conversation. Yeah. I guess if you're really missing one of your better players, it is also maybe a mental thing that they didn't or weren't be able to win. I would imagine that a lot of the players on that team were really demotivated and then therefore didn't give it all. Would make sense, at least. Oops. Yeah, so now we have one small what is it called? Sand building. Damn, I was really struggling with that word. One small sand building. And I could add more. I mean, who cares? Why not? Come on. Don't need a law excuse for this. I want to build. Do I? Do I want to build? this specifically, I mean. I was just, this thought of me wanting to build a desert map anyways just came to my mind. Should I build the structures that I have planned for a different map now? That sounds kind of not like a good idea. Okay, I'll keep one building, maybe a little fountain, as a teaser for the next map. But really only that. Yeah, I just noticed I can't go too hard on this topic right now. The sand topic, I mean. Simply because there are plans for the future that would use this exact idea. Yeah, I'm just improvising on the fountain right now. Just seeing what I could do. This seems nice. And now if I add some of that, some of that, oh, maybe even go like this. Maybe carve out one more layer and replace it with half slabs. Yeah, I'm taking this as an opportunity, then that's a hard word, as an opportunity for teasing the next map. Just so that I don't need to find a law excuse for this building. Oh no, it waterlogs automatically. And it freezes. Oh no. Maybe building a fountain wasn't such a good idea. Wait, what biome do I need? Plains. Plains don't freeze. No. Let's just hope that no one notices the sudden biome change. Okay, I need to hold... Never mind. Holding shift doesn't work. Yeah, I'm fixing... I'll fix the water after finishing this build. Yeah, maybe I should have placed the stairs later. Oops. Okay. The fountain is a little bit full, don't you think? Time to dry it up again. I'll keep one layer at the bottom. Makes more sense to me right now. Also, completely forgot. Wouldn't be a fountain if there was no water coming from the top. Yeah, we can keep it like that. Maybe one small pathway around that's barely visible. I just don't want to go too hard on the desert theme right now. On one side because it doesn't fit into the lore, and on the other side because there's plans for a desert map later. This is interesting enough for the moment. And then, yeah, going around just placing more red sandstone, or not stone, just red sand around all the edges. Some little spikes. Yeah, and fixing some of the dirt right here. That is still not quite done. And there will be another structure for this place. A little enemy camp. Don't worry about the cobblestone right now. Oops, I accidentally pressed right click. Okay, okay. Yeah, sorry, this is a little bit shaky. But it's the most effective way to place it in like this specific pattern. I would do it with a noise painter, though that those don't really work that well for this specific type of look. Wait, am I stupid? I could also gradient painter. Should we just try it out? Could work. If you're asking if it's connected in the map, maybe. Not sure if I mean, yeah, it's probably. I was thinking in my head, I had this idea of a rather big world. The laws are obviously connected. Well, not obviously, but they are connected. And plan was that more in this direction, like really far, maybe on a different continent, but in this direction, there could be a big desert area. And I'm still deciding if I want to keep them in the same exact Minecraft world. I might just make a new world, or would be funny if they are connected within the world, that you could technically travel from one map to the other. I don't even know where I'm going with this. Yes, they are connected in terms of lore. Yeah, but that's going a little bit more into spoilers. I really can't say anything about that map in terms of lore right now, because that would be heavy spoilers for this one. But just to make sure, this entire story that I've planned out so far is planned for a trilogy, so it's going to be 3 maps. All, well, roughly the same size in terms of playtime. So yeah, the next one will be bigger in block size, simply because it's a desert and there's a lot more open space. And the third one, I am still not quite sure how I want to design the areas in that one. I have some rough ideas of some sub areas. Yeah, but that's still far in the future, so yeah, not deciding on that one right now. I also have to look how this map is received by other players. See maybe if there's some critique of the level design. So I'm not really thinking too much about that map right now. I just have the entire lore done. What do you mean when you say providing the map? Because obviously it's my map and I want to keep it that way. But if you mean like in a way where I could upload the map, sure, why not? Making the map more accessible to everyone would be nice. First place to upload this map definitely is going to be Planet Minecraft and the CTM repository. Is that the right word? I think it is. Yeah, so the CTM community has their own website for maps. And I think it's kind of hard to get your map in there because you need to talk to moderators and stuff. You can't just upload. But yeah, that's definitely those two websites are going to be the main plan for uploading the map. But obviously, if there's more places where that would be possible, then I would gladly take those. I think I need to talk a little slower. My natural talking speed is too fast for me right now to keep up with. I mean, sure, there's nothing wrong with that. Would love to make this map more accessible to everyone. Yeah, I mean, there's still time till this actually happens, but I keep it in mind. Thanks for the offer. Yeah, because it's kind of hard to get into the region right now, right? Because of stuff being blocked. Yeah, right. Like, looking back, we have made a lot of progress since I started streaming. But what still needs to be done? This is done. This needs some more decoration, but this will be quick. Maybe just half a stream. This entire area is still going to take, I would guess, maybe a month if I keep going like this. And this one, yeah, like realistically speaking, I would say the map could be ready for playtesting, or maybe for not in playtesting, for placing more gameplay in 3 months, but more realistically 4 months. Then there will be a long playtesting phase where I will probably rework the entire map. So let's just add 2 more months to that. I'm still struggling with that word. So yeah, a half a year probably still. And there might be some personal things that I need to take care of in between. So I'm not sure if I'll be able to work the entire time. So there might actually be 1 or 2 times where I need to pause building for maybe I will try my best to keep streaming, but I'm just saying it could happen that I need to stop for maybe a week. Yeah. So if everything goes well and I can keep going, then this map will probably be done in half a year. And if not, then, well, a little longer, not too much. But yeah, this is a huge project, and I wasn't really ready for this size. But well, yeah, it's my own fault at this point. Okay, yeah, so still a really big region, I would say. Would be sad to maybe miss out on this much potential players. So yeah, that would be great if there was a way to get the map into this region. I would gladly take it. Am I missing some blocks? I think I am. No, I'm not. Damn. Wait, I am. Yeah, red sandstone walls. Yeah, right now I'm just adding some spikes to the side of the arena, I would call it, just to make it more interesting to look at. Because as you can see, it's still really flat, obviously because it's a desert. And having some spikes on one side gives the opportunity for more spawner placement, so more interesting enemies. And on the other side, it's also nice to make the area seem a little bit more interesting. Yeah, definitely. Also, I think it would be nice to, like, I don't know how far the CTM community actually reaches right now in terms of world, like regions. So I'm not sure how many people are actually able to upload their map around those parts. Um, so that could actually be a nice, what is it called, statement to get my maps over there at those places. So yeah, thanks for the offer. Someday, once this map is actually finished. Oh man, yeah, stuff takes time. Yeah, by the way, just let me say this right now. I do appreciate every time you say like I've reached a specific amount of viewers, but let's not look too hard on the viewers that are there. I know from personal experience, it's usually when I get into someone's chat and I get called out immediately. That's kind of not this. Like I don't enjoy it that much, even though it is nice to get to talk to those people immediately. But yeah, let's try not to call out viewers who are just silently watching. That's also why I don't have any follower announcements. Because for me personally, it's always kind of disruptive. If I'm joining a chat, I just plan on lurking a little bit. I follow, and then I get called out immediately. Kind of don't like it this much, so I don't want to do it here. Just so you know, no problem though. Yeah, like I think the majority of people playing CTM maps, or like the community in general, is from those parts of the world, like more USA, Europe, stuff like. I say stuff like that way too often today. Sorry. But yeah, you get what I mean. But it would still be nice to expand the reach of the community. I think that's enough spikes. Let me just think real quick if there's anything else that needs to be added. I still really like this little pillar right here. It's so out of place, but it serves such a nice gameplay purpose. Yeah, I guess the entire desert area is a little bit out of place. But let me... Nah. This place still needs a little bit of stuff. So an enemy camp was planned. Yeah, of course. Yeah, let me just take these blocks and then... So enemy camps in this map will always look very similar. It's usually some wood pillars, some stairs leading up to a small platform, and that platform being surrounded by some kind of fence like this. Yeah, that's how I like to build my enemy camps. Looks nice, is simple to build, and can be repurposed a lot. Yeah, of course. Germany, it's always hard to... I know Germans are everywhere on the internet, and there are probably a lot more in the CTM community than I'm thinking about right now. Like, Germans like to just spawn out of nowhere. Which is really funny, especially when looking back at events like Reddit plays. It's always funny to see just how insanely dedicated Germans can be when it comes to internet stuff. Just spawning out of nowhere, taking over the entire platform, you know? I want a big pillar right here. But let me actually place it on the upper side of the block, just so it's easier to place extra stuff. Oops. Yeah, exactly. So it does make sense that Germans like to spawn, but it's still kind of funny. Okay. Yeah, you see the vision, right? Like some different platforms, all on different heights, different shapes. There's a lot that one can do with this kind of style. Oops. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. This is the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Just so unexpected places and just suddenly it's all full of Germans. Yeah, this is all right. Doesn't need to be too detailed here, obviously. Just a little enemy camp. Maybe some lights. Um, how about lanterns? Lanterns are always nice. One of the best lighting blocks in my opinion. Oops. Okay, this might be a little bit dark. Oh, it actually looks fine. Um, this does need some more lighting, I think. Let me just place one here and one here, just so that you have something to look at. Yeah, I like how this turned out. It is all flowing together really well, I think. Damn, that's nice. I guess like finding that's kind of sounds like finding an underground organization, you know? Just yeah. Those are the fun moments of online games. Just finding a secret club of people who speak your language. Okay, so one of the last things that needs to be done in the forest area is this cave right here. I'm not revealing what's behind because that's a finished area that I'm not going to spoil. But this cave still has some work to do. I mean, it really doesn't look great right now. And I think in terms of decorating this, I'm just going to decorate it in the exact same way that I've decorated all the other caves in the forest so far. Even with the passport? Damn. That's really funny. Yeah, those are the fun moments of online gaming. Not to say that other moments aren't fun, but those are especially fun. Oh, by the way, I forgot to give this building a roof. Okay. Let me just take a quick look again at the grayish part. Yeah, seems alright. Colors fit well together. The dead coral works as a decoration block. Yeah. Okay. Damn, so we have actually gone through the entire forest. From the top part to the very bottom. And that is, well, it's still not 100% done, but really the most important parts are finished. Except for the trees in the village. Or do I just replace them with pine trees? I could just do that. Okay, come on, we're trying it out. Testing how it looks. This is a pine forest after all, so it would make sense for that to be pine trees. Ah, oh well, who cares? Those trees look ugly anyways, and I don't want to have them on this map any longer. If I'm going to replace them anyways, then why keep them in the first place? I was kind of contemplating putting them, copy and pasting them up, just so they're safe. But that seems like a waste of time. Okay. I mean, it definitely looks different now. But seeing as this is a pine forest, we'll ignore this one. Yeah, okay, come on. That's alright. This tree really tried to hide from me. Yeah, that's really fitting music for cutting down trees. Okay, so pine tree 7. You will be placed right here. Oops, that's one too far up. Okay, if I'm completely honest, I'm not sure how I feel about the trees. This one is fine, I think, and I think just pine trees in general in here are fine. But the placement might need some extra work. There doesn't need to be a tree here, but one tree should 100% be here. This is practically the perfect place for a tree. One big one right on top. I think it also looks kind of weird because I'm not used to seeing those trees here. And because of that one not pine tree. I'm not even sure what these are called. Is it an oak tree that is just a little darker? Might be. Oh damn, I took part of the environment. Luckily that grass doesn't regrow, so I know exactly where to place. Okay, but there obviously can't be a tree here. This is already very close to the building. Um, I mean, there is technically space. Just need to find one that doesn't grow into the building. Yeah, like those 2 blocks are no problem. Well, I mean, it's a little bit more than 2 blocks, but yes. So I still haven't looked up what the time plan site on Twitch is actually called, but there should be a tab on Twitch that shows like a little calendar. And this is that's my stream plan. 3 times a week. For me, it's what time is it? Yeah, 4 p.m. for me. Four to 7 p.m. on Monday, Thursday, and Saturday. I'm just modifying this tree a little bit so it looks a little different. Okay, okay. 1 hour later, that's quite good in terms of time, I think. Yeah, finding the correct time zone to stream in is always hard. One thing that always annoys me is when I find a cool new streamer, like finding some clips on YouTube, and then looking at the schedule and they're streaming like 2 hours after I've started to sleep. That always makes me sad. But yeah, I mean, you can't really change that because it really depends just on where you live. And sometimes you will be in a time zone that is bad for specific streams. Yeah, that's great. For me, this was the perfect time because I'm basically free every day from 4 to 7 p.m. Like, of course, there will always be that one time where I just can't make it, but usually it's the time that I'm available. Okay. And well, exactly as I have said, plan for today was to finish the forest within the stream or barely make it. And now it's 3 minutes before end of stream and we have just finished the forest. Isn't that perfect? Well, okay, I mean, this little part here maybe needs some more work, or does it? I think the grass is already a great addition. Well, we'll see about that, but for now, let me turn on shaders, fly through here one more time. And I'm actually going to make it day, just so it's easier to watch. That is evening. Nah, 8,000. Starting to stream at 5 a.m. is wild. That's some dedication, I would say. Also, one thing that you could do with Axiom is change the flight direction. As you can see now, I'm flying in the direction that I'm currently looking at, which might be nice for some cinematics. Yeah, now looking at it from a finished perspective, this place really does look nice. Yeah, I didn't show it for a reason. I mean, I can show it now because like it's not that important. But just remember, the map is entirely played in nighttime. So this is why I have the map always on night. And I didn't really show it on daytime before because, well, in-law reasons, but it doesn't really matter that much. So why not just show it on daytime now? Yeah, this looks really lush and full. Also, I just noticed I've forgotten to post my YouTube update again. Hello, Cappers. Welcome. I hope I pronounced your name right. I'm not good with names. Sorry for that. You actually came at a bad time because I'm just finishing up. I've been flying through the map with shaders, looking at what we've built in the past couple of streams. But next stream is going to be in just 3 days on Thursday, same time again. Maybe if you're interested, I would be very happy to see more people show up in chat. So yeah. Yeah, but I also think Solar's shader might be a little bit unfair. The shader really does look incredible, even for on my PC. Like I really have a potato PC and I can run this shader on max settings and it really looks like I have RTX on somehow. Yeah, thanks Dioli for translating the time zone. I should really learn those. But time zones are so annoying. But yeah. Okay. Stretched enough. So this has been very fun. We've finished so much. And next time, I think we'll use early next time to finish this cave, which is not a lot of work. And then we are going to start seriously building this area right here, which I'm very, very much looking forward to. Oh, wait, right. Then that's it's always unfortunate with hello and hello are so their sound and look so similar that my brain just kind of filled in the E. Ja, Keppers, falls du noch da bist, willkommen im Chat. Schön, dich zu sehen. Auch wenn es ein schlechter Zeitpunkt ist, um reinzukommen, weil wir gerade fertig sind. Ja, sorry, ich habe das A mit einem E verwechselt. Soll ja auch mal passieren. Aber gut, ich werde den Stream hier beenden. Nächster Stream ist am Donnerstag, falls du noch Interesse hast. Wieder von 16 bis 19 Uhr. So yeah, this is going to be it. Thanks for watching again. And I hope to see you on Thursday. Time is same again. Look at my schedule on Twitch if you want more information. The stream is going to be live on the archive. Damn, I forgot the last stream. I didn't upload the last stream. Oh no, okay, so 2 more streams will be live. Maybe tomorrow. It always takes a lot of time to render the stream, upload it, you know. Takes a lot of time. So yeah, I hope to see you soon. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.